Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new live episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and tonight we are getting newsy, and we are cutting through the noise and getting to the heart of the real story. After this week, I'm calling it my C era, the alphabet, the C era. Chaos, catastrophe, corruption, and collusion. But first, let's talk about distractions. Because if there's one thing Donald Trump has mastered, it's the art of sleight of hand politics. While the nation continues to ask real questions about his alleged involvement with Jeffrey Epstein and the long-awaited release of those sealed files, he's out here doing everything but answering the question. Distractions. First up, accusing President Obama again of treason. No evidence, no logic, just chaos. There's that C word. Then, out of nowhere, pushing to change the name of the Washington Commanders back to the Redskins. Come on, man, really? Is that where your energy is going? Come on now. And if that wasn't enough, trying to rename parts of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts after his wife, Melania, because what better way to rewrite history than to plaster your name or your spouse's name on America's cultural institutions? Oh, and let us not forget the grand finale, releasing thousands of previously classified documents about the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., thinking that would be enough to throw us off of his scent. But let me tell you something, Mr. Orange Man. If you really want to distract us, do me a favor and fix our lives. Give us universal health care, stabilize the economy, stop feeding billionaires while working class people are drowning, and make affordable housing a reality instead of a pipe dream. If you do all that, maybe and just maybe, we won't care about the Epstein files or even you at this point that you're hiding. Because right now we see you, we really don't like you, but tonight we're going to talk about some of the distractions that you have created for a lot of us. Welcome again to our show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all have had a great week. It has been a very fast-paced week and a very hot one for many of us. So, you know, I don't do what I do when I get on this show. So if you all are ready, let's get on with the chat. Hey, Bobby and Shawn.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
How you guys doing, man?
Glad it's Friday.
Hey, here it is. Here it is. I know the viewers are watching this too. Shawn's shirt and Bobby's shirt is a spinoff of this shirt. Okay?
Look at that. And we didn't even mention that behind stage before we came on. Like, we are the combination of your shirt. Look at that.
I held it tight, and then one more characteristic that we have, that light is shining on the top of our head. Can you see that right there? It is shining.
Yeah, it is. Can
you see that? Look, don't be mad. Don't
Shawn,
be mad. Hey, viewers.
It's clear who Diana Ross of the Supremes and the Supremes are. So.
You know, I knew you were going to take it that way. I knew, but I didn't say anything. There's no Diana Ross here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We're all Supremes, okay? Norman, we're all Supremes.
Norman's like, no, I think we know. Thank you, Norman.
Hey, Michi. Hey, Dr. Toole is back. Thank you for joining us again, Dr. Toole. We love having you here. Hey, Monica, how you doing? I got to share something real quick before we start, guys. Monica sent me a text today to say, are you guys live tonight? Yeah. Monica, you touched my heart. And I was like, thank you. Michelle Sims, welcome back, sister. We missed you. And Troy Patterson, the man with the golden smile, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can't see him, but he has a golden smile.
And he'll sell you a house.
Huh?
And he'll sell you a house.
And he'll sell your house, okay?
Yeah.
But you guys have had a good hot week.
Yes.
And okay, well, I do want to carry on for how I started the show about the distractions that, that this administration has been doing. And ladies and gentlemen, you all feel free to, give us your comments, because we're gonna speak about 3 of the distractions in the chat.
Okay.
And hopefully you all will have something to say.
Yes.
First of all, let's talk about the Kennedy Center.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans quietly inserted language into a bill to rename a room at the Kennedy Center Opera House in honor of Melania Trump. This move has raised eyebrows, including mine, particularly in a space traditionally reserved for figures with a deep impact on the arts and American culture. So my 2 questions to you guys, Bobby and Shawn and our viewers: does Melania Trump deserve to have her name attached to a space within the Kennedy Center? Why or why not?
Oh, hell no.
Wait, Alvin, did you hear Shawn?
Yes.
Not just no.
Hell no. I mean, that's the easy answer.
Oh, Troy seems to agree with you.
Huh?
Troy seems to agree with Shawn.
I mean,
He said nah.
Oh, hell no.
Of all the first ladies that we have, she doesn't even stack in the top 1.5 of being honored or immortalized, if you will, or nothing.
Period, says Mitchie. No.
Period.
No,
Period.
She's clearly not an Einstein genius, despite the fact coming to this country on an Einstein visa. But that's neither here nor there. She clearly isn't someone who made her way to the top by being partnered with a man named Epstein, who introduced her to the Orange Man. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to go there. That's for later.
Okay, yeah. So you digress. But here's my second question for you guys. So
also. No.
Huh?
I just want to add in no, she does not deserve it.
Okay.
My point is,
your face said it. Okay.
Those things don't make her qualify. Is my point.
So, what message does this send about who we choose to honor in a national cultural institution?
Well, I certainly think it says that we can uplift and honor someone who has not deserved it. Like that, it is more a question of who you know, as opposed to what you know or what you've done. I mean, this is a former first lady whose greatest contribution was a campaign that was challenging at best. Be best was the campaign, and it circled and revolved around bullying. And he's married to someone who is notorious for bullying people. So notorious for it.
Notorious.
Well, here's the serious thing about it. In all seriousness, though, the Kennedy Center is a very reputable institution.
An international cultural center.
International cultural center. And that place has always come with some kind of prestige. You know, I can remember as a kid watching the Kennedy Center honors.
Absolutely.
What that meant. You mean when you saw Lena Horne, for example, getting that award. Okay, so to have people of that significance walk into a room, I forget which room that they host.
The Opera House.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That to me is, would be somewhat lowering the class, if you will, of those who were previous recipients of that award, because we all know that she was not a contributor to the arts of any kind of way. Okay. Even if it was fashion, and I do believe fashion artists are artists, she was not a contributor at all. So to rename something that she had no contribution to, it really is, like Bobby said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it really is a slap in the face in terms of DEI, because it's another example of they don't want people who actually are qualified to do certain jobs, but yet someone who is not qualified is getting a room in a prestigious institution named after them for having done nothing. That is
not even associated with the arts. It would be one thing if she were known as someone who was a great patron of the arts, supported arts, encouraged it of kids. None of that.
None of it.
Well, here's a couple of facts. The last time she was in there, she got booed, I think. Okay, so let me say that is a fun fact. And then I'm gonna read some of these comments from the viewers because they've gone in. And also another fact in terms of fashion, she's supposed to be this fashionista icon. Vogue wouldn't put her on the cover.
Refused.
So refused to do that. So enough said with that. Michelle said, hell no, don't do it. Thank you. Troy said no one has seen her. I saw, let me see. I think I thought it was Michelle Sims that said something about her being naked. Lord Jesus.
Oh, that's Michi.
Yeah. Oh, that was Michi? Michi said, no. What?
Well, they put her naked pictures up on the wall.
Oh, the naked pictures. Oh my God. Yeah, no, we're not. Well, they put the naked pictures. No, we don't even want to see that. What is that word right there? A psychopath. Psychopath. Troy, don't make me go to my dictionary. I'm not playing with you tonight. I don't want to do that. There's no accomplishments. Being naked on the internet is no accomplishment. Please. Okay. So by consensus, we don't want her there. Okay?
No, according to our listeners and this panel, that would be a no.
That would be a no. Okay. The Trump administration has suddenly, as you know, declassified documents related to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. While transparency can be valuable, the timing and motive behind the release are being questioned. So my question to you all and the viewers, does the release meaningfully contribute to our understanding of Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy or his assassination?
I like the image that you had there. Like you released those after you released the Epstein files.
Right. And this was from his daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter said, now do the Epstein files. Right.
Yeah.
There is no contribution. And I heard a comedian say that Donald Trump did something that he doesn't even know that he did. And that was release more Black history.
He combated his own rule. He went up against his own ruling of not informing people of history that is inclusive.
It is inclusive.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Shawn. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think for the most part, like you said, these are all distractions, which is what this segment's about. But he, I believe, was trying to appease to his Black audience, thinking that that would be something that would distract us from the Epstein files. Like, what he failed to recognize, and his people failed to recognize, is that for most Black Americans, this is an assumption here, but we are settled on what happened to Dr. King. I think for the most part, I can safely say that we don't buy what the government told us anyway about the assassination of Dr. King. And so what he did wasn't going to do anything to move us as a people.
I also think everything is received, all information is received contextually. What is the context under which it's being released? What is the goal and mission of it and the purpose of it at this point? When you are under great scrutiny and attack to release specific information about something, and all you can do is either misdirect, deflect, and say the timing of this information that's being released is meant to try to defame or deface the legacy of someone who just also happens to be known as a civil rights icon, et cetera, et cetera. We all know that Martin Luther King was not a perfect person.
Of course not.
The irony of it coming from someone who is so far from perfect on so many levels, like the timing of it is that it's not lost on us that this is a deflection, and it is yet another attempt. Because again, contextually, this is coming from the man who spent years trying to convince us that the first African-American president was not even eligible to be the president of the United States.
Yeah, right.
So you can't look at what he's doing now without taking into context his history of how he has treated Black people, and in particular, Black men and women. So,
and I'm going to say this as a sidebar, ladies and gentlemen, because I read about it today, and I don't have the woman's name, but I know that she's from his administration. And one of the people in his administration said that she was going to open up now the JFK files, and she was going to subpoena everybody who was a part of, like his doctors and people, what do you call it? His people, not necessarily in his administration, but the doctors and his Secret Service and people who were around him. Well, they're all dead. And it's a known fact that they're all dead. But she publicly said that she was going to subpoena them. It's that kind of distraction that is just way overboard. I also want to read something Rodney said about Melania. Most of you all probably don't know what the Follies is, but you can close your eyes and think about it. He said perhaps if the Follies were still open, maybe her name could be over the doorway.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Oh, wow. Wow.
All the way from Philadelphia. Thanks,
wow.
Rodney.
Oh, wow. No, this is Rodney he's in Bethesda. This is Rodney Bryant.
Oh, that was Rodney Bryant. Oh my God.
He threw that down the street.
He threw that down the street. My apologies, Rodney. I had the other Rodney.
Now, the last distraction, ladies and gentlemen, that is just so far-fetched. I just had to, have a conversation about this. Trump is reportedly opposing the Washington Commanders' potential move back to D.C. And unless they agree to return to their former name, the Redskins, a name long condemned or radically insensitive name, he is not going to allow the sale to go through, if you will. So should political leaders have a say in sports teams' name? And does this even belong in the national conversation?
It does not. There's no federal money involved with this.
Well, the tricky part for a lot of people is understanding that, when you live or anything that exists in the District of Columbia, there are laws that consider it federal funding. Like you can own things on it, but you don't own the land. Mm-hmm. And so he is overreaching, as he often does, in terms of his capacity to impact what happens on federal land. So is it an overreach? Without question. Are there far more important things that he should be dealing with? Yes. But when you're petty, you're petty.
Hey, you guys. Oh, go ahead, Shawn.
I was going to add more about this later on when we get to the top stories. But yes, Bobby is correct. But D.C. has a 99-year lease on that land.
Hey, you guys, look over there.
Exactly.
Troy, you got me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, thank you all for, indulging us in the chat. We just had to, get some of those distractions out of the way that, again, they're ludicrous. And as I said before, the three words that come up for me this week when I think about this administration is chaos, catastrophe, corruption, and collusion. But we do have one more distraction, which is actually the focal point of all the distractions from this administration right now. And recent developments surrounding the Epstein files include the House Oversight Committee issuing subpoenas to the Department of Justice for related documents. Ghislaine Maxwell is scheduled to testify before Congress and had a recent interview with the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Now, if you don't know who Ghislaine Maxwell is, she's the accomplice, if you will, to Jeffrey Epstein, who has pleaded the fifth, and so they locked her up for 20 years or whatever, and if they think she's going to talk too crazy. It has also been reported that President Trump's name appears in the files, though the White House states that this doesn't indicate any wrongdoing. So, with the House Oversight Committee now subpoenaing the DOJ and Ghislaine Maxwell reportedly set to testify before Congress, do you believe we're finally going to get closer to the truth, or is this just another political performance?
I personally think that she will be told that if she denies any association or any wrongdoing, she can't deny association because there's evidence of videos and books and all of those things. But if she flat out denies that he was involved in any way, shape, or part, or any way, shape, or form, that he's going to do just like he did the folks who climbed the Capitol. He'll pardon her. Her release, I believe, is going to be based upon her trying to convince people that he was not involved in any way. Like, because she's facing a lot of time right now, and he can get message to her. Don't worry, you will be pardoned, but you just need to like completely remove it. That is my thought about it.
This is messy, and this would get even more messy based on what you're saying, Bobby, because I don't know. But Bondi said that he was in the files, mentioned in the files on multiple occasions, not just once. It means to me, not twice, but at least 3 times or more, maybe many more. So, and he knew that he was in the files since May, according to most sources.
Yep.
And then after that, try to say that he didn't know anything about it. So,
or they didn't even exist.
Or they didn't exist. So it's messy, and the more they're digging into this, it's going to get more messy because there's too much that's already out there that has been proven. I don't know what the DOJ has planned for her in terms of what they're trying to get out of her in terms of some kind of change of testimony.
I don't think they're gonna get anything out of her.
I agree, Alvin.
I think that's going to be. I won't call it a show. If a show is her sitting there silent like she's a mime, yeah. But that they're not going to
simply plead the Fifth. If she pleads the Fifth degree, Fifth Amendment, she doesn't have to speak.
Right.
But let me ask you guys this question very quickly. What do you think are the chances that she reaches the same fate that her friend did?
Well, that would be too much of a coincidence, and they wouldn't. Again, the conspiracy theories would really go out there because people right now don't believe that Epstein did anything to himself. You forget that there's 3 minutes of missing footage regarding his last few hours of life. So MAGA is up in arms about this. They don't believe that he did what they said he did. So if something were to happen to her, then I think they would convince everyone that he's the one that's corrupt.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, with her, I think she's going to sit there and not say anything. How you doing, George Pringle? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, George.
And we haven't said hello to Diane Thomas. Diane, this
Hey,
is the first time Diana. Well, she said, "Oh, it's Diana." Someone did say hi to her, but they didn't say it right. Okay, Diana, thank you for joining us tonight.
I just want you to know, Diana was my babysitter growing up. I've called her Diane all my life, so it's gonna be Diane tonight.
Oh,
thanks for watching, Diane.
I'm surprised you can type, Diana, but thank you for being here. I mean, if you were his babysitter, Diana,
she taught me how to drive.
Put your address in the chat so we can send you flowers. Okay.
Diane, I can't wait to introduce you to that guy.
Okay. Thank you for being here. No, that's all I have to say. We're gonna, we got more news to get on with. So why don't we get on with our next story, if you guys will? I'm good.
All right.
So the next story actually goes back to what we were saying earlier about RFK Stadium, Robert F. Kennedy Stadium, and the deal. And so Muriel Bowser, of course, is leading this deal. She wants to get this deal done before the end of the summer, so that the plan is to get the deal done so that the team can get in there and then host some other events like the World Cup for women. Now, there was some news to drop today, late this afternoon, regarding the deal. Robert White, councilmember at large, he's put out a notification saying that he is troubled by the deal. Also, in addition, Councilmember Charles Allen put out a note saying that he also is troubled by this deal. And Charles Allen went as far to put out some data, some numbers showing that this $1.1 billion that was supposed to be going to the Commanders as part of this deal, going to the owner, Jay Daniels, is more than that. Charles Allen estimates that's going to be about $4 billion. This is according to Councilmember Charles Allen in Ward 6. So I don't know if you guys, this deal is looking to fall apart. Now, I do think they want a stadium. I think they want a stadium. They want the team here, but the progressive council members are not feeling it.
Well, look, I have a Redskins. I have a Commander shirt upstairs.
Oh, Lord.
Too much news on the mind. I have a Commander shirt upstairs, and I definitely want the stadium to come here. I think it would be a great thing. And I mean, just with all mergers and business deals like this, there's bound to be something that doesn't look good or feel good. And of course, the taxpayers talking about, them spending too much tax money and too much tax dollars on this. But we definitely need it here. I mean, especially since downtown DC has slowed down considerably since COVID. The business is not downstairs. I mean, what is wrong with me? It's not downtown. Okay, so I am looking forward to this stadium coming here and Jaden Daniels coming with them. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Well, I'm an elected official. I am a commissioner in the city. I'm an advisory member commissioner for 5C04, which is about a mile and a half from the stadium. And my territory in Northeast DC, will be impacted by a stadium. But I do believe,
in a good way or bad way?
Well, it depends on the deal. I do think that if the development is done right in terms of housing and retail and revenue dollars, tax dollars coming to the city, that would benefit us. But Jaden Daniels getting all that revenue, that's not going to help us at all as the people, particularly in Northeast DC. So the deal has to be re-examined. There more needs to come out of that deal for the residents in the eastern part of the city, and then not just on this side of the river, but also on the east side in Ward 7 and 8, Anacostia, Deanwood, etc. They'll be impacted too.
I'm gonna hold my tongue so much for that one, Shawn. I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one. I'm not gonna say that because we are a show about the community, and we love the community. But I'm not gonna shame the devil tonight. I'm sorry. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you, Shawn.
Well, we're talking about deals, and obviously, our current leader wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, and there was a recent deal that a lot of people are raising question about, and that is the deal that was made with the administration between it and Columbia University. Columbia University will pay over $200 million to the Trump administration as a part of a deal that the university was being accused of being anti-Semitic. The university has also agreed to an independent monitor to oversee compliance with civil rights laws and the additional $21 million fine to the EEOC. Now, this agreement or this deal actually follows criticism of Trump's his criticism of universities and colleges across the country and withholding federal funding, directly impacting admission as well as independent research. And so one of the questions among many that it raises is, what does this deal say? What does it say in terms of the federal government's influence on federal funding and research and informing what these universities are able to actually research? But it also speaks to the suspension of students who were involved in protests as well. And so it raises the question about the White House determining how students are disciplined at private universities. And that, for all of us, feels like an extreme overreach. So I'm curious as to what you guys think about this and what it says about future universities and colleges allowing students to be in the position to peacefully and legally protest.
Well, it's definitely setting the precedent that, this administration can come in and if they're paid to play, you know what I'm saying? If they can come in and these private universities, depending on what side of the fence they're on, either they're fight or just, go ahead and give in, and they're going to do it. But it is definitely setting a precedent that moving forward, that if freedom of speech has anything to do with, who you are and you thinking that you have it, you don't have it anymore. Depending on what you want to say, depending on what you're protesting. It's just a weird place to be in because, again, this is where we are. That we don't. What used to be is no more.
I think it's a lot worse than that. I really do. This is a way to really shut down progressive, left-leaning thinking. Basically, this is a way to cut down on teaching people about critical thinking or how to be critical thinkers. This is more than about pay to play. This is trying to get rid of any kind of dissident whatsoever, which speaks to authoritarianism. Okay, that's what dictators do. And for this Ivy League school to capitulate in this way, along with other people and there are other lawsuits where they're capitulating, and we're going to discuss that later on in the show. It's a dangerous precedent.
Absolutely. Because part of the agreement was that they would get the federal funding that they were losing because of the president is now going to be reinstated. So as you're saying, it sets this precedent of how colleges and universities should or should not respond to anything that is being said from the administration. It's problematic on so many levels. Yeah. And as Shawn said, these are the fundamental steps of authoritarianism.
I'm gonna go back to my C words of today: chaos, catastrophe, corruption, and collusion. Okay, it is my C words of today.
Alvin, do you see why Shawn and I are laughing at you?
What?
Because you were like, I have 3 words for this. You're like, and you say the word, and I'm like, Alvin, it's 4.
It is 4. Well, I said chaos, but you already know that. That's what it is. So it is 4. It is 4. It's 4. This next story, I put it in top story, and it could have even been in sports, but I think a lot of people are a lot more quiet on this than they want to give into. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there and tell you what's happening. The United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee has implemented a policy that effectively bars transgender women from competing in women's sports at the Olympic and Paralympic levels. Here are some of the policy changes. The USOPC stated it has an obligation to comply with an executive order issued by the Orange Man. The executive order entitled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports, issued in February, threatens to rescind all funds from organizations that allow transgender athletes participation in women's sports. The policy change also was noted under USOPC athlete safety policy and applies to all national sporting bodies that fall under the USOPC's purview. And this means that transgender women will no longer be eligible to compete for the United States in the women's categories at the Olympic or Paralympic Games. For example, U.S. fencing, one of the national governing bodies, has already updated its policy stating that transgender women, non-binary athletes, transgendered men, and intersex athletes will compete exclusively in men's competitions. I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of people in this world who feel like trans men or trans women shouldn't compete in sports. In particular, even the Olympic is the most visible, most notable
global
games ever. But there are a lot of people who don't feel that way, and I want to know how you guys feel about transgendered men or women competing, because I think it's a tough conversation to have on some levels.
Well, obviously, given the work that I do around diversity, I find it I find it amazing that again is what we are focusing on. First of all, the percentage of those athletes, the elite level athletes who identify as transgender in one direction or the other is so minuscule.
Right.
The number, the fact that there is all of this emphasis on this. And I will also say that I think that there is often a lean that the issue is generally when it is a transgender female who is competing that causes the greatest issue of concern in my experience. And that is because they feel that this person who may have been born genetically identified as male, even though they have transitioned, still possesses additional strength or different, abilities,
right,
because of their genetic birth identification. Very rarely is the hoopla or the kick up when the female transitions to male, because of the very opposite of that. They are not seen as quite as competitive, right. And because then they would be a transgender female would be competing against genetically born men.
Right.
And is not seen as much as a threat. But again, the percentage of people who qualify for this ruling is minuscule. And for me, just another act of transphobia. That is, and I know that there are people around the world that feel differently about it. But one would think that an international organization of that level would be able to transcend some of these thoughts around discrimination.
I think about, and I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but for all the sports that are associated with the Olympics, there are a lot of sports. Mm-hmm. And you think, they just added breakdancing. So why would you think that a transgendered woman a transgendered woman could or could not outperform a person who's not transgendered, in a sport like that?
Yes, they're automatically suggesting that because someone is genetically female competing against a transgender female, that they would be the underdog. But I challenge many biological men to play Serena Williams in tennis and see who comes.
Come on, you know what? This he said cup raised. Okay, hold on.
All right. I hope not to offend anyone.
Then please try not to. But go ahead, keep going.
I will not.
It's like, do better than hope. Try not to. Why do we do that?
Try not to.
Okay, this is not about sports. This is not about trans or not. This is about Christianity. This is about basically how Europeans forced Christianity onto cultures that for centuries had multiple genders within their cultures. Mm. Okay, that goes back for centuries, thousands of years. Even Native Americans had multiple genders within their cultures. Right. That changed with the arrival and the forced indoctrination of Christianity onto people who are already in the Western Hemisphere, and in a lot of cases also in Africa. So, yes.
Very good point, Shawn.
Yeah. So they use sports as, I guess, like a litmus test, if you will, to see how far they can go to push this agenda, which the ultimate agenda, which is this Christianity that truly does not exist in the Bible. Right. Mm. That's what I believe the ultimate goal is. And so, like you said, Bobby, there are so few trans people in sports, even in everyday life. Mm-hmm. But I can remember in the 90s in particular, visiting family, cousins up in New York. One of them was trans. It wasn't a big deal. No one talked about it. Mel went from Mel to Renee. Oh well, okay. No one was bashing his head in or her head in. Okay, so it's not about sports.
No,
this is a litmus test as to how far they can take Christianity the way they see it, because there are no white people in the Bible.
Well, thank you. And he said. Okay, and
you have it.
Thank you, guys, because that was a pretty tough for me. Very open and given both of you all's position, particularly Bobby's position here. Hey, JJ, thank you for welcoming us tonight.
Hey,
and Joy
JJ.
says spending all that money to affect 300 people. Come on now. Right.
We go from one interesting and controversial issue to another one. We continue to see opportunities to bear witness to police engagement with people of color, and in particular, Black men. And there is a recent situation that has become public. It actually took place on the night of February 19th of this year, where 22-year-old William McNeil Jr. was pulled over by deputies in Jacksonville, Florida. And what began as a traffic stop over an alleged minor infraction, driving without headlights and not wearing a seatbelt, it was inclement weather, exploded into a horrifying display of police brutality, captured clearly on video by McNeil himself. His cell phone footage, now viral, shows a white officer punching him directly in the face before dragging him out of the car. Now, the video is unmistakable. McNeil sits in the driver's seat with his hands raised, visibly confused, but calm, and repeatedly being asked why he was being stopped. So recently interviewed, McNeil said, "I feared for my life," and said that his attorney who represents him said that his client suffered significant injuries. And if you've seen this video, and many of us have, it is distressing. It is very difficult to see someone who is indeed not resisting, not by hands up, and you see the window being broken, and then you just see this fist come into the window and hit him in his face. What's even more disturbing is, as I said, this happened in February, and currently there are no files charged. There was no knife found. Officials defend the officer despite the damning evidence. Sheriff T.K. Waters announced that both criminal and administrative investigations are in play based upon the public outcry. And the officials have removed Officer D. Bowers, who was the white deputy seen punching McNeil, from the frontline duty, but did not suspend him or fire him. So he's been removed from frontline duty, but he's not been suspended or fired. So if you've seen this video, it in the midst of all the other things that we have going on, it is a difficult reminder of the reality that still exists in terms of police brutality and people of color.
I did hear him say something that you said. There was a knife, and he said, but he didn't reach for it. The knife was under his seat. He said, this is what the gentleman said. I heard him say.
Oh, you heard him say that was? Okay. Because
I heard him say that there was a knife, but he didn't reach for it.
Right.
And he had his hands up. So that part. And then the other part was the sheriff said that there was no wrongdoing, publicly said that there was no wrongdoing, and that
they were in their right. Yes.
And that we cannot believe social media or videos. And that I have an issue with that, because I watched that man punch through that glass. And so, but he said that there were more to be seen that we didn't see.
And what's important for people to realize is that when the glass was broken, the punch to the face was not as a result of him breaking the glass and then him accidentally hitting. The glass was already broken.
They pulled him out and hit him. Well, they hit him when he got out too.
Yes, they hit him when he got out. But once the glass was broken, the fist came through. The fist did not go through the glass. Right. The glass was not there when that fist came through and hit him in the car.
I'm sorry, Shawn, you want to say something? It's just
no, not really. All I can say is that, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it probably to the day that I die, unless something changes. Black men are the target.
Well, okay. Well, thank you all for those top stories tonight. I'm gonna move on to sports and social, sports, social, and entertainment news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And I am going to start out right here in Washington, D.C. The Mubadala City DC opener is happening right now. And this week, Venus Williams, at the age of 45, achieved a remarkable age-defying victory this past Tuesday by winning her first singles match in 16 months at that Open. The victory marked her return to the halogenic WTA tour after a layoff and made her the most senior woman to win a tour-level singles match with since Martina Navratilova in 2004. One other thing to add about this story with Miss Venus Williams is that she announced her engagement also at this Open, and I'm just happy to see her winning. I'm happy to see her doing her thing. I rode my bike over there the other night, hoping that I could get in the middle of all of it. And they told me if I didn't get my bike out of there with no ticket, that the police might take me out. Okay, so don't do that. But I wanted to share that. And real quick, since we were talking about the Williams, I'm sorry, anything you all want to share about Serena Williams that I may not know that happened this week?
Yes.
What is wrong with me today?
I just want to say that for me, I've always thought Venus was, she's also my favorite player. Mm-hmm. I still like her, love her a great deal. Steffi Graf is my second favorite. But I thought the bigger news was her talking about health insurance.
Cobra, being on Cobra. Like she's like, I'm playing, I need some benefits. Yes.
Yeah, she needs it. She needs her health insurance, and it is expensive for a rich woman still. Yes, so that to me, that's the news.
That's the news. I think we need to have a story around it. And who knows, that story might be coming. That was good, Shawn. Okay, well, now I can go on to the other Williams sister, ladies and gentlemen, who's in the news. Serena Williams' weight loss journey. Does she look fit? Serena Williams has faced criticism and speculation about her weight loss, with some fans and online commentators questioning the methods she used to achieve her slimmer figure. Some have even accused her of using Ozempic, I don't know why that's a problem, and weight loss medication, despite her stating she achieved her results through hard work and lifestyle changes. What I have to say to anybody who are critiquing or commenting or whatever on Serena Williams' weight, leave that girl alone, okay? Let her do what she want to do the way she want to do it, because the people who complain are the people who can't do it, and so all you got to do is stop eating. If you can't eat, just stop eating.
She doesn't look unhealthy. I think that her physical appearance is stark in comparison to, again, what we've known of her. Strong, very muscular, thick, and so forth. But she's also not a competitive tennis player anymore.
Right. Well, I do have one issue about the lighter skin. Now, I don't know if that's the camera thing. Or there's something going on with the pigmentation. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna leave it alone, but there's a little brightness going on over there.
But I would say this: if and when I become a millionaire, I'm gonna look like Michael B. Jordan.
Wow. Shawn, you better go ahead. Okay.
And you heard it here.
Okay, you here first.
I'm gonna be in the gym 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, eating clean, doing all that. So yes, I'm gonna look like Michael B. Jordan when I get my millions. Okay. Because I will have the time to do it. So Serena, more power to you.
And let me tell you, it won't take millions. It won't. That you just have to put your mind to it and do whatever you need to do to better yourself. And so I'm all for her.
I'm never going to lighten this. I love the berry. So the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So this would never get lightened.
And you heard that here too. You're hearing all kinds of things tonight on Let's Get Newsy.
You better go ahead. Monica said, go ahead, Shawn. That's right. Okay, keep the berry dark. All right. What else is happening here?
I don't think Shawn has a story, I think. Yes?
Yes. Okay. So, sorry. My apologies. Yes. We're talking about my fellow South Carolinian, Stephen Colbert. So his show, The Late Show on CBS, was canceled And to no surprise to Stephen Colbert, but people should recognize or know that for a while, Stephen Colbert has been very, very vocal about what's been happening in this country, socially, culturally, and politically. And that has apparently not set well with his bosses at CBS. Now, keep in mind that the show being canceled, they say that, it's expensive to do a late night show. And they say that the show lost between $40 and $50 million over last year. Mm-hmm. Now, this also comes after CBS capitulated to the Trump administration with another lawsuit that's separate, but then again, part of CBS. But the news also states that this is probably also part of what CBS wants to do in terms of, or Paramount, in terms of a deal with Skydance. They want to sell Paramount CBS through Skydance for about $8 billion. But in order for that deal to happen, they need approval from the FCC, the Federal Communications, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. Thank you, Bobby. Mm-hmm. And I used to cover that agency as a journalist. But yes, but they have to get that approval from Trump's FCC. And so getting rid of Stephen Colbert is another way for them to try to help that deal go through. And of course, after his firing or the canceling of the show, the Orange Man basically tweeted that he was very happy about that. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't want to quite say it's council culture, because it's actually more political culture. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go the Judge Judy route. I know there's some underhanded stuff going on, but they're in the business to make money.
So you think that it is more an issue of money as opposed to the pressure?
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest with you. I do. Of course it's the pressure, but at the same time, we can make more money. We can save money. So, but I'm not ruling anything out with this don't let me say my 4 words that I keep saying 3 words about. Okay. So this is corruption.
One of the several words that
this is corruption. Yeah. Yes. So that's my take on that.
Yeah. And in truthfulness, late night shows, all of them, their ratings in terms of audience viewership has been going down for some years. Yeah. So that part is true. Mm-hmm. But don't mistake that these folks are not making a lot of money. These companies, this is why we have these mergers. I mean, which I'm against. I'm anti-merger. But this is what it's leading to. Mm-hmm. It's leading to platforms where they want one voice so they can brainwash everyone to think a certain way. This is all connected.
All right. There you have it.
So I'm going to go in a slightly different direction of the cameras not being on Stephen Colbert, but the cameras being alive and in motion at a recent concert by Coldplay. This is the viral kiss cam video that was seen around the world. And you've probably heard about these two. Andy Byron, who is the CEO of a company called Astronomer, and Kristen Cabot, who was the human resources executive at the same company, were caught by surprise when singer Chris Martin of Coldplay asked the cameras to scan the crowd for his Jumbotron song. He has a Jumbotron song, during the concert last week at a Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And so as the camera was scanning and so forth, it came upon these two in a lovely embrace. They were embracing. And as I said, he is the CEO of the company and she is the chief executive human resource person. Now, the problem, of course, is they are not married. They are married to two different people. And so they were caught on cam and they were shocked and surprised. And the infamous, they were shocked and he dug down and she ran away and so forth. And, there's all kinds of fallout as a result of this kiss cam video. He stepped down and most recently she has resigned since that. So they have both lost their jobs. And I think that obviously there's question about the public humiliation of this. Both of them have families that are being impacted by this. And so there are a variety of questions. One of them being, is there is there a public privacy expectation? Was there privacy infringed upon at this concert by that Kiss Cam. Now, and it's also important to mention that Coldplay had nothing to do with this video going viral. He was speaking, someone recorded the video, and they posted. They were just posting, going around, filming rather, when the Jumbotron came up, and they posted the video, and of course it went viral because of the obvious embarrassment. And while they didn't know it was an affair officially, it's been confirmed that indeed was inappropriate. So what do you guys think about public privacy or privacy in public spaces?
I'm gonna keep it stay home. Okay, because stay home, stay home, stay home, and what's in the dark will be shown in the light. Stay home.
Troy says there's no expectation of privacy in the public.
No.
And certainly you're going to be all huddled up.
No.
People may have had speculation about them if they had just been sitting next to one another at the concert, but they were clearly thinking that they were more discreet than they actually were.
I'm trying to keep on my I don't care face. I'm trying not to let that come through and go into the next story because
Yes.
Yeah, because in the end, it's not really impacting any of us, but it is a story that went viral, and so we thought we would just touch base on asking the question in general: is there privacy in public spaces?
Nope.
No.
And
the next couple can speak to that because I love to see couples come together, especially beautiful Black couples, especially young, beautiful Black couples.
Oh, let's just face. Come on, just tell
just
me.
Go ahead and
you love Megan Thee Stallion.
And get this.
Like, what are they talking about?
Yes. So yes, my girl Megan Thee Stallion has a significant other, Klay Thompson, and they are attached, and they went public recently about their partnership, if you will. But there's a quote here from Megan that I want to read because this is something that I really think says a whole lot about how she feels. She stated in an article, Elle magazine, "This is my first relationship where I've ever been with somebody who's genuinely a nice person," she said. "He makes me genuinely happy." Now, that's all you need to know about Megan and Klay and their relationship. That's it.
I'm happy for her. They cute.
I'm happy for both of them.
I'm happy for them. So I'm glad that we got a chance to put there and get their romance in our bromance and display it. Thank you, Shawn.
I wish them lots of luck.
And that's all I'm gonna say to that piece because I'm sorry.
So there. Well, what I'm going to say very quickly is that in other entertainment news, we were all deeply saddened with the news of the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, 54-year-old actor who many of us feel in many ways that we grew up with him in his role as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Malcolm was actually in Costa Rica on vacation with his family and went for an early morning swim. There was speculation that his daughter was with him. It has been reported that she was not indeed in the water with him, that he had gone swimming with one of his friends, I guess, who was also there on vacation. And due to what appears to be a very, very strong undercurrent, was pulled out. And when Wood's body was brought back in, they were unable to resuscitate him. So the official cause of his death was asphyxiation by submersion. And again, it's been amazing watching so many people respond and share stories about, various episodes of particularly The Cosby Show. And of course, he went on to become a one of the rare child actors who was continuing to do really, really good, high standard work. Most recently, he's been seen on a show called The Resident. He has been known as a spoken word artist, recording artist, actually won awards for his spoken word work, and a humanitarian. It was recently, they were showing some slides that from a recent interview where he was speaking about the importance of being a good person, and that he did hope that his legacy would be that of being a good person in addition to being a talented person. So just very, very sad. And again, I think so many of us feel like we knew him as a result of him being one of the first examples of a successful Black boy in a very successful household on television. He was not without real life issues. He apparently had a learning difference in the show that he dealt with, and he was everybody's little brother. So we offer our condolences to the family and those who love Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Shawn. Well, tonight before we leave, we have our last segment. We have a Black history moment, a Black excellence moment, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I want to take a moment to honor the life and legacy of Emmett Lewis Till. Born on July the 25th, 1941, Emmett was a 14-year-old Black boy from Chicago who in August of 1955 was brutally lynched in Money, Mississippi after being falsely accused of flirting with a white woman. That lie, that moment of racial hatred led to a vicious act carried out by white men who were never held accountable. But Emmett Till's story did not end in the barn or in the river. His mother, Mamie Till Mobley, made the courageous decision to show the world that what racism had done to her child. Her choice to hold an open casket funeral became a spark, one that helped ignite the civil rights movements. Tonight, we don't just remember Emmett Till for the tragedy. We remember him for the power his name still holds. We honor him as a symbol of resistance, of strength, and the ongoing fight for justice in this country. His life, though brief, became a turning point in American history. Emmett Till, we see you, we speak your name, and we will never forget you. Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Well, guys, we're at the end of another show, ladies and gentlemen.
How time flies when we're newsy.
When we're newsy, time just flies. And thank you all for sticking around. You know me, I'm so type A. You know, when it comes to time, I love you all for spending the night with us. But we're so glad that you tuned in. And Bobby and Shawn, thank you guys as always.
Thank you, everyone,
for what you do. Well, our words of the week this week, thanks to Bobby. Never seek revenge. Rotten fruit will fall by itself. Okay. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, have a great week. And we see you next week on He Said.
He said.
He said.
Do say.
Stay cool.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning in.